Hello, everybody. Sorry for the late start. I just got off work and got home, so scrambling to get this show started. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. Hope you enjoyed the divisional round weekend. What a weekend it was. We had a lot of great games, a lot of turmoil, a lot of heartbreak in some areas. Obviously, we saw what happened with, Bo Nix yesterday. Oh my God, my computer, stop it. We saw what happened with Bo Nix yesterday, the heartbreaking loss for the Bills. Of course, Seattle, BTA to the 49ers. 49ers really didn't have a chance. Texans fans, very divisive on CJ Stroud now after today's performance. Not a good game from him. Patriots move on to the AFC Championship game. And then, of course, the Rams tonight in a overtime thriller against Chicago. Caleb Williams was probably one of the best throws that I've personally ever seen. Beautiful throw. Beautiful throw. That's why he was the number one pick coming out of college a couple of years ago, because he can make throws like that. He can make those plays when you need him to. That is very eerily similar to the throw he had in the Red River game. His first actual game collegiately in the Red River shootout when he threw that dime to Marvin Mims that ended up tying that game, and eventually got us the win. But that's what that play what that pass reminded me of. That was just a beautiful pass. Of course, we'll get into all of that. We'll give a preview of championship weekend, all that and more. We might try to go a little bit quick with this because I got to get up early in the morning. Yeah, I just got off work and I got to go back early in the morning. It's great. Anyway, we'll start with the Bills and Broncos, 33-30. Broncos win it in overtime. I mean, heartbreak if you're the Bills. A pass that, a lot of people felt should have been a catch, turns out to be an interception, gives Denver new life. Pass interference after pass interference calls. So many pass interference calls on that last drive that just put Denver in a position to kick the go-ahead game-winning field goal in overtime. It's heartbreaking if you're the Bills. Also kind of heartbreaking if you're the Broncos, because now second to last play, you lose Bo Nix, breaks his ankle. He's out for the rest of the postseason. You have to run it with Jarrett Stidham at quarterback and see what you can do with that. You do have a really good defense, which is a good thing to have in a situation like this. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how this team matches up with the Patriots here in the AFC Championship game. And before people discount this, because it is Jarrett Stidham at quarterback, remember, we've seen throughout the history of the NFL, and if people actually did their research, they would know this instead of complaining about it. We have seen throughout the history of the NFL, we have seen backup quarterbacks come in pressure situations and perform well. I mean, Eagles fans who are crying about it right now, guess what? Your first championship was with the backup quarterback in Nick Foles. Giants, Jeff Hostetler led them to a Super Bowl in '89. See, who else is on that list? I mean, Jim Plunkett coming in for Dan Pastorini back in the day. I mean, hell, even the 72 Dolphins, the team that never lost, 11 of those 14 wins that they had that year were by backup quarterback Earl Morrall. I'm just saying, as long as the guy you have is somebody you trust, he can come in, make the plays, make the throws, play the game well, you got a puncher's chance. That's all I'm going to say. You got a puncher's chance at winning that game. Plus, with that defense, Broncos can definitely get the job done. Looking at this from the Bills' perspective, Josh Allen, 25-39, 283, 2 touchdowns, did have 2 interceptions. James Cook, 24 carries, 117 yards. He had himself a day. Josh Allen also had 66 yards on the ground. They did their part. They did their part. The turnovers, and again, the costly penalties, ended up biting Buffalo in the end. Dalton Kincaid, 6 for 83. Khalil Shakir, 7 for 75. But other than that, you really didn't have a big day from anyone. Keon Coleman had a couple bad drops. Cole Hardman had a big drop. Brandon Cooks, say what you want about that play, it goes down as an interception. If he holds on to that ball a little bit better, I'm just saying, gotta secure it. Then this is why they say you have to secure the catch through the ground, because if it pops up like that and ends up in somebody else's hands, yeah, that's a turnover. So it's unfortunate how that happened, but to the letter of the law, it was an interception. All right. So Bo Nix, 26 of 46, 279, 3 touchdowns. Did have a pick in this game as well. No running game. This is the thing that worries me about Denver going into this game. No running game to speak of in this game. Bo Nix, 12 for 29. Jaleel McLaughlin, only 21 yards. RJ Harvey, only 20 yards. Marvin Mims had a big day, 8 for 93. Cortland Sutton had all 4 of his catches in overtime. RJ Harvey, 5 out of the. Yeah, Bo spread the ball around a lot. But the thing is, that running game scares me a little bit. And the Patriots are one of those teams that can make teams one-dimensional. But if you can't run the ball effectively and they go to try to shut down Jarrett Stidham, that's not good for a backup quarterback like this. I'm not saying it's impossible for them to win, but I'm saying the fact that if you have a running game like this in a championship game against the good New England defense, it's not going to be pretty. It's just not. That New England defense is not going to let you have a good day, for sure. So, at the very least, you got the home game. You will be hosting the AFC Championship game, so the home field does help. But I don't know. We'll get to that when we get to our previews, but not too excited to see what happens with Jarrett Stidham and the Broncos. Although I'm not counting them out, I think they can put up a puncher's chance, but they have to run the ball better than they did today. And this Bills defense is not good against the run, and they did not run the ball very well today. Game number 2, if you even call it a game. Seattle at home knocks off the 49ers 41-6. Yeesh. Not a good game at all. I mean, as a Cowboys fan, I'm happy, but Sam Darnold didn't have to do much, which was great. Defense basically did their job for them. Again, from the 49ers perspective, no running game to speak of. You lost Jake Tongas midway through this game. Had no George Kittle. This was the 49ers coming in were probably the most injury-riddled team in the NFL. The fact that they made it this far is impressive. But much like we saw in Week 18, Seattle came out with a mission in this game. They really did. And they showed the world that not only are they for real, I could possibly sit here and say that they are the favorite to win the Super Bowl right now. I seriously believe it. I think they are the favorite to win the Super Bowl this year. Right now. As of right now. Of the 4 teams left, I think you have to say that they are the favorites to win the Super Bowl. So let's go through here. Say 49, Brock Purdy, 15-27, 140 yards. Had a pick, was sacked twice. Not a great game for him. Mac Jones ended up coming into the game for that final possession. Brock Purdy also led the team in rushing with 37 rushing yards. And hello, Jay. What's going on, man? Huh? Can you hear me? Oh, I can hear you.
I know. I'm kind of just happened to see you get on kind of late, and I said, "Darn, man, you must have just got off of work."
I did, and I go back in at 8:00 in the morning.
Damn. Yeah, man, these games were crazy, man. I fell asleep on the early game. CJ Stroud, man. It's the Amber Rose effect, bro.
Oh my god! As he blacked up, now your screen's gone.
I'm trying to get my buds on, but it's not going. It's not going. Do your thing, man. Let me give me a second, real quick.
So yeah, I mean, Seattle showed up going into the next game, as Jay was mentioning. CJ Stroud, man, we're gonna have to have a talk about CJ Stroud, and I think Texans fans are gonna have to start having conversations about CJ Stroud, because oh my, was he bad today? It doesn't help that he had no running game to speak of at all either. But you lose Dalton Schultz, you lose Nico Collins. He looked really, really off today. 4 interceptions, only one touchdown. He was sacked 3 times. It was not a good game. Did not look good at all. I mean, the fact that they were still able to keep in this game amazes me, because guess what? The Patriots turned the ball over almost just as much as the Texans did. So I even had to ask Scott. I was like, "How's that new turnover bakery in Foxborough? Because it seems like it's popular today."
And both teams turn over the ball a lot, and I don't know. I kind of pick on Ohio State quarterbacks or former Ohio State quarterbacks, and definitely the defense carried them. Man, imagine if Stroud was a bit more efficient. Even from the first pass of the game, man, I want to say the first offensive play of the game. It just, I don't know. The cold weather definitely has some type of bearing on it, but it's just like, man, he couldn't get a rhythm, man. He couldn't get a rhythm.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of his passes were just like, I don't know where he was trying to throw the ball to half the time, because it just seemed like he was throwing it nowhere.
Yeah, it's the emperor. I don't know what to say, man. And again, I'm hard on former Ohio State quarterbacks. Again, the defense carried that team. Imagine if he would have been a bit more efficient. Uh, it seemed like every quarterback in the playoffs so far has hurt their hand to some extent. So it's been a bit of a mess, man. Just like you mentioned earlier, man. This is kind of a weird playoff scenario, man. We have a lot of what ifs, a lot of is it a catch situations where you can actually have in comparison. We've seen like probably the same play in like 3 different games, and from one to the next, it was either a catch, not a catch, or interception, or however you want to call it. And that's been it's been unfortunate. It's been unfortunate.
Yeah, they got to get this figured out, because it's starting to become a problem now. It's starting to dictate certain outcomes in games and whatnot. But as a wise man once said, you can't put yourself in a position to let referees beat you like that, though. So, Jay, I mentioned this earlier. We've seen backup quarterbacks in postseason situations play well. I mean, we saw it with Nick Foles. We saw it with way back when with Jeff Hostetler.
Yes, sir.
I know you've seen it with Doug Williams before when he had to come in. I even threw out the 72 Dolphins who had to do it with Earl Morrall for a majority of the season when
Right.
Bob Greasy went down. How much of a chance does Jarrett Stidham have against the Patriots
As
in
as
the
much
AFC Championship game?
as much of a chance as Sean Payton, who paused for like 2 minutes when they asked was he ready. It was like, what else is he supposed to say at this moment? And even he was telling himself that I can't sit here and say this kid's not ready, and or I have to get him ready. So I would imagine he does have full confidence. Anybody who considers themselves sort of a quarterback whisperer would, thinks that they have a chance. And just like he said, he feels like he has two quarterbacks that are more than capable of winning. Um, just like you pretty much owed it to Jeff Hostetler. That was probably one of my earliest sports memories as far as recollection of actually understanding what's going on as a kid in New York, seeing a Jeff Hostetler situation, and then going into the next season when they're like, okay, well, who's the quarterback now? Because Hostetler did he performed very well. He took on that offense, and he, like I said, he had everybody pretty much like, so he's our quarterback moving on, right?
Mhm.
And man, that was the first quarterback controversy I've ever seen in my life. So, you would hope you have something close to that situation, man, in the Sean Payton. Like you just kind of hope at this point. I think Stidham, who's been thrown in the fire in the past, I think he can be ready. I
Mhm.
think he with that defense. Come on, I mean, a lesser defense. You kind of worry. A defense that gives up like 28 points a game, you're like, okay, they got no shot. But with that defense, they have a shot. They have a shot.
Yep. And we've seen how the Patriots have played against backup quarterbacks in pressure situations like this before. So didn't turn out well. Just say that. Um, but yeah, I think it'll be a little bit more competitive than what people think. Obviously, the Patriots, I think right now are 5.5 point favorites in that game on the road. Which again, that of course, that's because of Jarrett Stidham. But we have to see. I don't know if you agree. We have to see more of Jaleel McLaughlin. We have to see more of RJ Harvey because they have to run the ball effectively to help out their backup quarterback.
I mean, this is gonna be tough. I was counting on. Uh, well, the Texan running game is. I wouldn't put it right neck and neck with the Broncos running game because they rely so much on a rookie. So
Mhm.
pretty much a young running back in Woody Marks. You kind of you I don't know. That's a stout defense. Harvey has done well. I mean, he seems to be awesome as far as catching out of the backfield. McLaughlin, pretty much the same until they ended up with another rookie, RJ Harvey, another, young running back. Um, you kind of think it's advantage Denver, but again, gotta get this running game going, and you would think they seem a bit one dimensional. Stidham is a dangerous man right now. He could be a dangerous man right now. When play action, I really feel like Sean Payton could set him up for success. I really do. And you have those pass catchers that they have in Denver. You got Bryant, you got a lot going on. Who kind of, early in the
If you can get
game.
the ball Sutton earlier than the fourth quarter, that would be great too.
I was just about to say he's been ghost, man, most of the game. So it's like I hope you can depend on him. When you talking about a backup quarterback, you take away that option and you see, what could possibly happen. So if he could be held to how he's held down until the fourth quarter, you would think they have a good game plan with Jarrett Stidham at the helm.
Yeah. And I mean, it's Sean Payton. And again, what's been the main focus of how these backup quarterbacks have had success? Look at their head coaches: Don Shula, Bill Parcells, Joe Gibbs. I mean, you could go back to the Raiders days when they had Jim Plunkett and won that Super Bowl. I mean, Doug Peterson, say what you want about him, but he got the job done. And then here you are with Sean Payton, who's already won a Super Bowl, who's been there, done that. Unfortunately, he won't be able to kick a surprise onside kick at halftime, but hey, don't be surprised if we see Sean Payton throw a little bit of trickery out there too to try and keep the Patriots off guard.
Hey, you called it. I'm pretty confident in that. He's gonna have to throw him off balance in some sort of circumstance. Any chance he can get. Just like you said, too bad we can't do the onside kick because I think it would have been we would have been looking at a redo or pretty much a remix to it this season. But he's gonna have to be on his coaching in his coaching bag for sure. And like I said, we're not talking about somebody who doesn't have much experience. In these playoffs, yes, but this is a little different. But yeah, I think Stidham is he knows the playbook well enough. He knows what Sean Payton wants from play to play, and I think it still be a good game, man. I hope for it to be a good game.
Yeah. Like we'll get into this game later, but why I think the Rams Seahawks, that's probably going to be the best of the heavyweight fights for sure because it's going to be cinema. But I think if you tell me right now, I think the best coaching matchup is going to be Sean Payton against Mike Vrabel for sure because these are both guys who've been there, done that. Obviously, Vrabel did it as a player, but he's gotten the Titans to the AFC Championship game before, so. He's no stranger to big games like this.
True. I like both. I like both matchups as far as you got an offensive mind and Sean McVay against first name Johnson, basically Johnson. You kind of I don't know. I like both matchups just as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like both just as well. Scott, and he said it. He said, if the Patriots win this, holy, you know what I'm saying?
It's the first order coming to light after the Empire was taken out. Now it's the first order coming to light with the Patriots revival now. But yeah, and Scott, of course, mentioned a few minutes earlier, mentioned backup quarterbacks have had success in postseason games before. And I know people are trying to sweep that under the rug, but it's like, know your history, people. Come on now.
But right now, it's just 1-0. And getting I think it's a way different circumstances. The stakes are higher, but you don't have a whole season trying to get through from season to season, from week to week. This team and that team. And I think right now, especially when you only really much have film on Bo Nix and what he does well, which is the running and the play action.
Here's the thing, though. Who's the team that drafted Jarrett Stidham? It was the New England Patriots.
So this is gonna be. I still think this is gonna be a great matchup. Just like you said, I like both matchups. Yo,
Hey Scott. Hey,
he tricked us. He tricked us. Hey.
even when he loses his voice, he's still gloating.
Man, I would love to be in your situation right now, man.
It was an awful game.
Yeah.
I mean, Patriots won, yeah, but it's an awful game.
I asked you this earlier. How's that new turnover stand there at Gillette Stadium? It seems like it's pretty popular nowadays.
You should ask how the waterworks is because it's not very good. That's Drake May's kryptonite right now is rain, wind, cold, snow. I mean, anything that you want to put out there in terms of weather, that's his kryptonite. He can't throw the ball.
By the way, next Saturday around like Denver, Kansas City, Oklahoma area is supposed to snow, so we might be getting a snow game in Denver for the AFC Championship game.
I saw 50 degrees and sunny on Sunday, so I'm not
I know
sure.
we're getting snow that weekend, so that's going to be fun.
I just wanted to hop on and say hi, Jay. Hi, Alan. And I'm going to bed now. So good night.
Hey, back-to-back games. You go. You going to make the trip to Denver? You going to make the trip to Denver?
No. The wallet can't afford it. So.
All right, Scott, get some rest, my friend. Have a great
I'll
night.
see you guys later.
All right, Scott.
Bye.
All righty. And to what was probably the game of the weekend, Rams-Bears, Sunday Night Football. Good defensive slugfest early on. Caleb Williams, again, I said this earlier, that throw reminded me a lot of that throw he made to Marvin Mims against Texas a while back.
Dude.
That was probably the prettiest throw I've ever seen in my life.
Dude has a rock. Like, what the things, the crazy thing is the things that people said about him going into the draft, and it was like Mahomes like, and nah, I think he's a notch up because
Man, no wonder why Chris Collinsworth wanted to do this game. God damn.
Did you did you see how many yards back he was from the line of scrimmage? And
that was at least 15.
Balance? Dude, come on, man. That's ridiculous, man. At least 15. It's like you said, at least 15. But come on. And I watched that and it was like, okay. And I already knew we talking about the real deal here, but man, he gave it his all. You know, the Rams just had a better, the Rams defense, man, except Emmanuel Forbes, had a pretty good game. You know what I'm saying? And
got to take that pot shot at Emmanuel Forbes, don't you?
yeah, everybody had a good game on defense except him. I mean, overall, man, they played a great game. They had a great game plan. I would say every one of their top corners had a pick. And Cam Curl as well. Wish to see him still in burgundy and gold, but it is what it is. They just had a better game plan, man. But Caleb did his thing. I loved it. The Bears fans should still be proud of their team, just like they did. They gave him a ovation as he left the field. They showed their appreciation. It wasn't a situation like where you look at Texans fans looking at their quarterback or anybody else. I think every quarterback in a loss has went out admirably. So it's tough, but they got something to build on, man.
Yeah.
And the Rams, I mean, come on, Sean McVay, 2,000 pounds worth of extra. What we got? Cayenne pepper. We got scuba suits. We got hot chocolate. Everything they can put on the bus or the team plane, they put on there, man. That's crazy. And they definitely were cold, but they did it. Puka Nacua was probably the most ecstatic. I mean, when that's your kind of thing where everybody says you can't win in the cold, and especially what happened last season. You know what I'm saying? Like, that has to be pretty uplifting. That was awesome, man. And Seattle at this point in time right now, I wouldn't say it's gonna be a bit better, but I haven't seen the forecast for Seattle. But
And
man,
if there's one team that has had the Seahawks number the last few years, it has been the Rams. So this has been the tough matchup for them. But I will say Mike McDonald has done a great job with that Seahawks team. I mean, let's be honest, nobody had them being the best team in the NFC this year. I don't think if you asked anybody, they would probably said the Rams would be number one, the Eagles would be number one, some of the other. Nobody really had the Seahawks in this spot. A lot of people had the Seahawks finishing last.
I do always want
in
to
the
call him Mike
NFC
Johnson.
West. But yeah.
Yeah. McDonald is I always call him Mike Johnson for some reason because him and Ben Johnson have it's kind of similar to me.
They're all from like the same. I know Ben
true.
Johnson. I know Ben Johnson's from the Dan Campbell coaching tree, but that they all have the same similar type of style. Like, I think Mike McDonald actually did come from the McVay coaching tree, which is essentially the Shanahan coaching tree. So it seems like all those guys are connected, and it'll be weird if they were all on one team, right?
I mean, think about it. Shit, stop. you, I know as far as my team, we had a good bit of these guys that we're talking about today. How many guys in this playoff that we actually had on the same team in Washington? You got LaFleur, you got McVay, you got Shanahan, you had I'm missing one. I'm missing
Mike
probably two.
Mike
Well,
McDaniel.
yeah, but Mike, man, yeah,
He's
him
a
as
better
well. But
he's a better coordinator than he is a head coach. But
yeah,
let's
outside of him, everybody's been in the playoffs this year, and that's pretty dope, man. I mean, not good for us, but we're trying to work it out.
And how
What do you,
about the
what do you
23 quarterback class too? Or 24 the 2024 quarterback class too. Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, of course, Jaden last year. I know McCarthy's been meh, but he's been very certain. Take that, make that tie. The Packers had to make it a loss. The Vikings actually get into the playoffs. So
Yeah, but they would have probably. I don't know. Who knows what would have happened, right?
they
But
would have probably got bounced round one. But yes, at the very least, they could say four of the six quarterbacks from that draft class that were drafted in the top 12, made it to the postseason already. So
we don't get to see that. Usually, somebody stinks out of a group like that. Somebody struggles for a very long time until they get it together. So yes, that's very. Or, you know, either way, they made it. I'm not gonna poop on how or what they doing, but they did. It's been pretty good to watch, man, as a football fan.
yeah, I mean, it's nice when you can see some of these kids have success. And it's also nice to see guys who've struggled, like a Sam Darnold, in Seattle, come out and have probably a career resurgence in San Francisco, in Minnesota, Seattle this year. He's playing his best football this year. He's got a great defense, got a lot of weapons. I mean, Jay has said what a year he's had, and they found a running game when they needed it the most. They might have the best running game out of the teams left with Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet.
This is the one year. You know what? It's funny because Kenneth Walker, he's I would say he's had up and down years in the past. Especially, always got to take it to fantasy. He was pretty much a fantasy hero, and you would have thought this year he had a bit of a drop off. But I would say that uh Charbonnet has been solid. It's like they've been the perfect 1-2 punch. I think when you look at just about every team that's left in the playoffs, they have some sort of 1-2 punch, even when you're talking about Corum and Williams. What I mean? Corum has kind of stepped in and did some good, man, as a backup. But we're looking at some good running backs going into these games, these championship Sunday, should I say?
Ramondre's finally figured out that, hey, maybe I shouldn't fumble the football.
Dude, he's coming
If
up big.
Travion gets it going here too, that's a good 1-2 punch for the Patriots. I kind of like what the Broncos have, even though they haven't really showed up the last couple weeks.
Right.
And the thing I asked Broncos fans about this too is what would your team look like if Javonte Williams was still there? Knowing what you know now with the season Javonte had in Dallas,
They just weren't patient enough with him, man. And
if Javonte is a Bronco right now, I don't think you would have to worry about Jared Stidham, because I think Javonte Williams would have made something happen. But
you got a point. Patience is a virtue, man. Patience is a virtue. And you got to give a guy 2 seasons to come back from a major injury like that. He may give you a glimpse of what he can do, potentially, but not until you hit that second season is where you see him back to full strength.
Because
That's
we're
anybody.
likely gonna either franchise tag him or give him a 2-year deal here pretty soon. So he's gonna get paid for sure because of the season he had this year.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I mean, not everybody can be Adrian Peterson. Let's just be honest. Not everybody's Adrian Peterson coming off that ACL injury. So guys got to be patient. But yeah, let's get into it. Seahawks hosting the Rams, NFC Championship game. This is all intents and purposes the game of the week. The two best teams in the NFC going at it. Two teams that know each other very well. This is the third time that they'll be playing each other. 1-1 against each other this year. The rubber match for the right to go to Super Bowl 60. Man, oh man, doesn't it get any better than this, Jay? Does it get any better than this?
Nah, it doesn't. And I saw this. We saw this when, and I hate to, sorry for 49er fans. You talked about it earlier. And, when you saw, I say back to week 13, it pretty much it looks like a Ram Seahawk collision course. All the 49ers had to do was win out, which they didn't do. But when you look at it, everything in its totality, whoever got the fifth or sixth seed or first seed, I felt like it was still a collision course. We could be talking about a Ram Seahawk, say NFC championship. And it was just that. And all the teams just helped them out, man. When you talk about the Packers going out the way that they did, and now eventually the second seed, the Bears going out, like it still ended up the way I think it should be.
Yeah, I mean,
This is the best
now
matchup.
without a lot of unrest though with this Rams team. I mean, nearly losing to Carolina in the first round. The touchdown tonight that they gave up with 20 seconds to Caleb Williams.
Right.
Like that, there are still concerns with this Rams team. Whereas with the Seahawks, when you watched them the other night, it was BTA to the 49ers, which they did that in week 18 too. So we kind of figured they were going to do that. But again, Sean McVay gives Seahawks fits for some reason. So it's going to be a really good matchup.
Yeah, but also when you look at the Rams, where did they have their losses towards the end of the season? East Coast teams. They lost to Philly. I would say somewhere in the season they lost to Carolina. You know what I mean? So it kind of you was still a bit scary about the Chicago thing. But then when you look at the 49ers going into it, I know you remember that last play that Purdy dropped back and they kind of cartoon like bended him up, man. Like he looked like he was gonna come out looking like the letter S. You know what I'm saying? When he got off the ground. And that kind of gave you a glimpse on what they could potentially do for a whole game. It was like they just brought the house on them. Like, you know what? Let's just bring the house. We haven't done it all game. Just bring the house now. And that's what happened. And that's what we pretty much saw the whole game this time. 49ers, they dance, and the best they can do is 2 field goals. You know what I mean? Like yeah, BTA for sure. BTA for
Mm-hmm.
sure. But how do you call it? You know what I'm saying? Like, again, this is the best matchup possible. So I'm happy.
Mm-hmm. I just saw this too, by the way, to follow up on the 24 draft class. Three of the 4 quarterbacks from that 24 draft class have already made the championship game. Obviously, Jaden Daniels did it last year. Drake May and Bo Nix this year. Obviously, Bo Nix is out though, but that still counts as him getting to the championship game. They each all have a playoff win too, as well. Throwing Caleb Williams in that mix, all 4 of them have a playoff win. So it's crazy. This class is already looking really, really good so far. And I said this last year too. I was like, don't be surprised that the NFC kind of starts to figure things out now when you get good quarterbacks in the conference. And here we are.
Yeah, it's great to see. It's kind of the passing of the old guard. But let's just be serious here. If the Bills would actually have just did a better job with their money management and actually fielded a real offense instead of paying Superman all the money and getting Brandon Cooks. You know what I'm saying? And people who they can grab up. Curtis Samuel. I'm just gonna be honest. Like at this point in their careers, these are like low budget guys that you can just add on to a team. You know what I mean? And try to make things go. And it's just like they're not being fair to a quarterback of his stature, man. Like they need to field a better offensive team with their weapons. They had James Cook leading the offense, leading the rushing. You know what I mean? In the NFL, it has to be more than that, man. You got to depend on more than that. And I think they did him an injustice because this was his season. Regardless of what happened, this was his season. And we're kind of seeing the outcome of it playing out, man. Where you have all these young guys out here, and I feel bad for Buffalo fans, man. Feel bad for Josh Allen, man, and it's crazy. He should be it should be he should be sizing up his ring right now. He should be.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, especially like you said, no Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow. He was among that elite class, and unfortunately, you ran into a Broncos team that not only had a really good defense, but couple questionable calls there at the end, especially the interception. But it sucks for Josh Allen because it's like this is what the Bills have to go through. Like every other decade. I mean, do we even need to talk about the 90s where they made 4 Super Bowls in a row and lost to 4 teams in the NFC East in the Super Bowl?
You thought Peyton Manning helped them reverse the curse, man, but obviously all of that worked for nothing. Maybe it's like it's staggered, where you get close and then the next season it happens.
And it's
You
like
know,
you said, Jay, it seems like the new generation is trying to come up, or at least with Drake May, it is. Obviously, we won't see Bo Nix in the AFC Championship game, but essentially it's going to be the old versus the new in the Super Bowl. If it's the Patriots, of course. If you have Drake May potentially against either a Sam Darnold, who's trying to close the chapter in one of the greatest career revivals in NFL history, or Matthew Stafford, who's solidifying his Hall of Fame career.
MVP?
I mean, between him and May, it's tough to choose because both of them have had great years this year.
I mean, the vote's already in even before you look at Drake May's performance this game. I would lean towards Stafford. You just have to. I mean, eh, it's not like that's a bare offense when it's, like we look at Buffalo. You know what I mean? But got to give it to Stafford. Got to. But
So,
uh,
this matchup, Stafford and Darnold, big matchup between these quarterbacks. Obviously, both running games, like you mentioned, both have great running back rooms, both have really good offensive lines, both have really good defenses. Seahawks defense has been incredible this year. The Rams defense has been kind of suspect at times, but they have really good players on that defense. Obviously, you look at their wide receiver rooms, Puka Nacua, JSN, Cooper Kupp playing his former team in this championship game. Obviously, you still got Devontae Adams, who's trying to get his first ring. So many storylines just with this game alone. It's how do you see this playing out?
that's the question I was scared to answer. I And I'm going with Ghostbusters, man. He no longer sees ghosts, man. He doesn't see ghosts in the same light that he used to. He sees ghosts now. He's a Ghostbuster now, man. And I think Sam Donald, you hope as a Rams fan that what you saw tonight can be duplicated when you got all your everybody in defensive backfield flying around making plays. I think you'll need that, and especially when you talk about up front, you're gonna need a bit of a push up front, to put some pressure on him to let's not I think he's earned the right now to say, let's stay away from saying he used to make stupid plays and the the things that he used to do. All you can say now is you hope they could put pressure on him for him to make some mistakes. Um, and other than that, I mean, if that doesn't happen, it could possibly be a shootout. But I think
Mhm.
Seattle's defense stays stout, man, and I think they're not gonna bend no matter what. So I think Seahawks, and I can't do a score, man. I can just go with the Seahawks. And like I said, this actually depends on, and I'll let you know the Blazers at 500 now. Just throw that in there. But yeah, um, yeah, I'm going with the Seahawks. Go Blazers, Rip City. Yes,
I'm
sir.
going with I'm going with Seattle too. I know we have me and being the city of Seattle have a divisive history, but I'm picking Seattle to win this game. I think their defense is just going to be too much at the end of the day. As long as we don't get New York Jets Sam Darnold on Sunday, I think Seattle's going to
See,
be fine.
there you go, man. Ghostbusters. You hear me? You like Peter Venkman right now, man. Oh, come on, man. That's a thing of the past. And plus, I gotta be positive. With a day like tomorrow coming up, gotta be
Hmm.
positive. Gotta be positive.
Absolutely. Absolutely, of course. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. Your Miami Hurricanes going up against Indiana in the national championship game tomorrow night. So should be a
Man,
fun time with that. Let's do all right. AFC time. What you get? What you got in the AFC?
gotta go with the Pats. Gotta go with the Pats. I mean, you would have to say that Jarrett Stidham is. I mean, he should be up to speed by the time they get to this game, but I think that's too much, man. You're gonna have to rely on RJ Harvey, who I think is very underrated at catching out of the backfield. I mean, he looks like a freaking wide receiver anyway. You know, I
Hmm.
just really think you would need a big game from a running back core, man. Of course, you have the talent outside to help him, but this is all on Stidham. This is all on him, and I think that's just going to be a bit too much, man. I just really feel, in this type of weather, just like Scott alluded to, maybe we will have pretty good weather out there, but I just don't see, I don't see the Patriots breaking. You know what I mean? I don't see them breaking the Stidham, man. I just really think the Patriots gonna pull that out. Their running game, I trust more, mainly Ramondre Stevenson. Uh, uh, Henderson he's kind. I'm not gonna say he's hit that rookie wall. He's kind of had some ups and downs. You hope he kind of gets. All he needs is a big play. I think all he needs is a big play in his playoffs in this game right here, and you can kind of moving forward. But right now, he's still on the stein, man. Like he's still kind of trying to find his way as a rookie. Especially when the game plan is different in the playoffs. I'm going
Hmm.
Patriots though. Still,
Yeah, I think the run game for the Patriots far outweighs what the Broncos are doing. And the coaching battle, I'll take Mike Vrabel, even though Sean Payton has won a Super Bowl before. I think Mike Vrabel right now I would consider the better coach. I think he'll have the team ready to go. I know today did not look great. You played the best defense in the NFL and you had a lot of turnovers, but at the very least, your defense played great. And I think that's going to be a problem for the Broncos offense is that Patriots defense looks really good too. So, um, especially with the healthy Christian Gonzalez, a healthy Christian
damn it,
Barmore
don't
coming
say his
back.
name. Damn it, don't say
Uh,
his name.
that kid from
We ended
Oregon.
up with Emmanuel Forbes, bro. How do you put
Oh, my.
Emmanuel Forbes over Christian Gonzalez, bro? Ooh, Ron Rivera. Nothing. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Rude.
They got Malik Collins back, which helps their defensive line. Um, they're full strength on defense now, so it's going to be tough to stop them. I got the Patriots winning as well, which means we get a Super Bowl 40, what is it, 43, 47, 48, 47 rematch between the Seahawks and Patriots for
Your
Super
guess is
Bowl
better than
60,
mine. Your guess is better than
something
mine,
like
but
that.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got your point. Yeah. It's gonna be something nice, man. I think both matchups complement each other well in different sets. You guess you got the offensive mastermind against a defensive guru who's pretty much led the Ravens defense for quite some time, and you definitely see the fall off in the Ravens since he has gone. You know what I mean? So and then you got the coach versus the former player versus the quarterback guru. I just really feel and I say that with air quotes because I think Drew Brees can't even lift anything right now. So I mean, with all the short passes he's been throwing all his career. But anyway, uh, I just really like both matchups, man. I really think Vrabel is is come on, man, definitely coach of the year. You know, definitely coach of the year. So it's gonna be nice, man. This is gonna be. We don't have Mahomes. We don't have just like you mentioned. It's like we don't have. This is so different. This is so different. We got Matt Stafford though. We got Matt Stafford. So, you know, he's a. It's good to see an old guy in there still.
Yeah. I mean, what a storybook ending it would be if Matthew Stafford rode off into the sunset with a Super Bowl title.
Man, I want to see Sam Darnold. Like
Sam
I think
Darnold
I would.
getting a Sam Darnold getting a Super Bowl title would aggravate every Jets fan known to man.
I think right now the way I feel, that's perfect. Perfect. Poetic justice.
There you go. There you
If you
go.
know, you know.
Yeah. Sorry, April. Uh, one last question I'll ask you before we end off, Jay. How you feeling about tomorrow night? What are your thoughts on Indiana, and what do you think your chances are to win the Natty tomorrow night?
Hey man, Mike Irvin went as far as saying that this is the best team since 2001. I wouldn't even say that. It's not anywhere close to 2001 when you have 38 draftees, 17 Hall of Famers, not 17, 17 first rounders. How many first rounders do we have? Yeah,
Wow, a
yeah,
lot.
they're 17. Anyway, who cares? You know what I'm saying? They call us, they say we haven't done anything since 2001. Like, dude, I think that's pretty recent. You know what I mean? Enough for me. But look, Signetti has it going on out there. Love his game face. I love the way he looks at the camera during the game when he's kicking somebody's ass. Like, dude looks dead at the camera, like, told you, told you. The
Mm,
best thing I could say is they have our rejects, man. And they've said it. These guys wanted to be in Miami. A lot of these guys are from Miami. They're best players, some of them. You know what I'm saying? I just think that I have to go with the U, man. Of course, this really is when it comes to Indiana, it's about skill position players. When it comes to us, we got to control the line of scrimmage on both sides. Man, you know, the Ole Miss game kind of scared me. And I told people like I really feel like the defensive strategy against Ole Miss was to stay home. I don't want to see, a defensive coordinator, and I only haven't played but so much football, but there's times where a defensive coordinator will tell his book ends, his ends either uh. You know what I'm saying? Basically stay at home or time to go. And I think against Ole Miss, they were told to stay at home. Don't even try it. Just stay at home. I think this week we're going to be seeing something different from the Ole Miss game. I think our defensive ends are going to eat. I think they're going to eat, man. And
mm.
I hope they do. I hope they do. But
It's going to be a very, very physical game because that's how
exactly
both of these teams like to run.
right.
Miami's got one of the better physical defenses in the country. We know what Kurt Signetti has done with Indiana. They've essentially become the new Alabama at this point. Physical on offense, and they're already just like we're not even talking about this game. They already made a ton of transfer portal moves too. Like they already have one of the better transfer portal classes. So a lot of guys are wanting to go learn and play for Kirk Cignetti now. So, and after what he's done, not just at JMU, but with Indiana as well. So, I think this is going to be an interesting coaching matchup because this is where Mario Cristobal has to prove that he can get the job done.
Right.
Because he couldn't do it at Oregon. Here he is now in Miami. He's got the talent. He's got the quarterback who's won a national championship in the past. He's got the defense.
I forgot how vital Carson Beck is. Excuse me to this.
You got
I'm scared.
all Carson Beck has to do is look at those uniforms and instead of seeing an I, just imagine that there's an A on the helmet or a number. Just imagine that it's Alabama and he'll play okay.
There you go. But yeah, you can hope he can play well as well. I think Mark Fletcher in the running game is going to prove vital. If we don't see Mark Fletcher pretty much get going with that running game, in the trenches, if we don't see the offensive line get a push, we're in trouble. We're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Is that guy's a freshman too, right? The running back y'all have, like
Mark Fletcher.
Like one of the I heard like one of those like star players you have is like a freshman and he's like broken out already. I'm like, God damn.
You talking about Tony? You talking about the receiver Tony?
Yeah.
Malachi Tony, man. He just turned 18, which I don't think it's fair. How much notoriety he did not get when you had a guy at Alabama, you had a guy at Ohio State, and here you are, you have a guy that actually came in a bit younger, and to what he's actually been able to put forth, I feel like, there's still a little bit of bias when it comes to Miami. You know what I'm saying? So, when you win the way that we did, and, for everybody out there who's like, oh, y'all fans, y'all celebrating too much, yeah, y'all need to watch some old Miami footage, man. Y'all don't understand what winning looks like until you watch how
they do
win.
the same thing to us too. It's like that's why I hate watching Oklahoma games in the ESPN because it's always just like, no, well, this happened. Oh, Oklahoma's playing, I guess. Especially with Brett Musburger. Brett Musburger for some reason hated Oklahoma. I don't know what he had against us, but
it was a girl. It probably was a girl.
It probably was a girl.
Speaking of girls, man, I wanted to say this before.
Because I recently went back and watched the 07 Big 12 championship where we were playing Missouri, and they were heavily favoring Missouri in that game. You could tell with the commentary, and then we ended up smoking them in that game.
Which was disrespectful. That was
of course,
man.
In fairness, too, that was also the year we lost to Boise State, so that didn't turn out well.
That was different, that was a pretty good team, man. I mean,
that Boise State team was really good. Yeah, they were really good.
Yeah, he had a future NFL head coach. I mean, not a head coach, but a future NFL offensive coordinator. We should be playing right now, but anyway, at the tail end of his career. But hey, who cares?
Right. So give me a prediction.
Miami 38, Indiana 34.
Nice. Going 27-24 Indiana. I think it's going to be close. I think Indiana's just going to be too much.
I'm honest, man. I'm scared to death. I mean, after this game that we just saw from Indiana, I'm scared to death. But I can't. You know me. I mean, I'm just gonna be right there yelling at the TV until I can't yell anymore, until I have nothing to yell at. So, if you do, which I don't see it happening, but if it's a break glass situation, I will let it be known that they did what they did. But I have no other way to look at it right now. But I'm scared as hell. That was a scary game to watch before you collide. That's pretty scary. It's like beating up the big dude in the schoolyard. Even though you've knocked some people out, like he went and beat like the biggest dude that you didn't fight yet. You know what I'm saying?
I,
And
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 I'm,
and
I'm honestly kind of happy because I'm not a fan of Dan Lanning. I know Oregon's been great, but Dan Lanning, he oversteps it
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
I mean, if you go back and watch what they did to Oklahoma State this year, like that was a little too. They beat them like 62-0 and kept their starters out there the entire game, and I'm like, ew, ew. Oklahoma State's just bad anyway, but
exactly. They're bad, and that didn't really help his case much. I think that exactly. That is the bright
let's.
side to
He
what
got
we saw.
after seeing that, I'm like, okay, Dan Lanning had it coming, kind of. And
Yeah,
even you knew Kirk Signetti wanted to make a statement in that game too.
yeah. He wasn't ready. Dan Lanning was not ready.
No,
He wasn't ready.
once
So
that pick six happened on that first play, it's like, oh, yep, this game's over.
it was scary. That's why I was just like, I kind of, like that was scary to watch. But I have I'm pretty confident in Carson Beck, man. He can have some. He can do what he need to do. He can have some accuracy. That wasn't what to see. But again, when you talk about who the coach was, how fair that team has been, how they look going into the tail end of to the season, and who they did beat, I that kind of helps. That kind of helps.
Yeah, sorry, watching also because they're doing the preview of this game on NFL Network, and freaking Gerald McCoy. He's like, who do you want more, Matthew Stafford or Caleb Williams? He said Matthew Stafford because Caleb chose Lincoln over Oklahoma. I was like, oh, come on, dude. I mean,
Wow.
honestly, I think if Caleb had stayed at Oklahoma, we actually go to the playoff a couple times and maybe even get to a title game at least once. With the defense that we had, if we had an actual quarterback instead of Jackson Arnold or whoever the hell we had, I think we actually may maybe make a run. But he goes to
And
USC where they don't play defense.
yeah, and the defense showed bright spots when y'all, at that time. So that you're making a good case there.
Mhm. All right, Jay, where can the people find you at? I know you haven't been on this show before, or at least a couple times you've been on. Where can the people find you at? And I know we got a lot of stuff coming up on Rec Room soon.
I currently am in the background, man. I don't know when you're gonna see me again. I'm just gonna jump in whenever I can, man. And that's the way it is, man. We do have a lot. We're going to be doing In the Hoop. I would imagine this week we're doing the In the Hoop on coming up Friday. So we'll let that be known. In the hoops, In the Hoop, our basketball show. Like I said, we normally do on Fridays. This will actually be our season premiere. But it's up to Wit when he wants to make these announcements. I'm not touching that. You know what I'm saying? All I'm doing is being the guy behind the scenes. And I mean big news, man. Some big news. Um, I'm not I'm gonna save everything for a special time. But right now, I'm just laying in the weeds, man. I'm just enjoying being a fan and like I said, uh being behind the scenes. But In the Hoop Friday. That's probably gonna be our first time doing In the Hoop. We're gonna probably have P5 Athletics out of Jacksonville, Florida. Trains a lot of players. I'm talking about players from young age all the way to pretty much professional players that play overseas. So it's gonna be fun talking to him. Like I said, Witt's pretty much been taking his time off, just had an anniversary and stuff like that. And I hope they're okay because it's snowing in the panhandle, and that's where he is. So uh hopefully y'all get home safe. But yeah, um, we're gonna get all that together this week, man.
Hell yeah, hell yeah! And then we will be doing a post game after the what is it? The NFC Championship game's on last. I think it's the AFC Championship game first, and then the NFC Championship game. So we will be doing a post game after that. We'll not be doing a watch along tomorrow because I'm going to be burnt out. Because I not only did I get off work tonight at about 10 o'clock, I have to go back in at 8 in the morning, so I'm going to be completely burnt out. So probably won't do that tomorrow, but I know Tuesday we might do our baseball show. So with myself, Scott, and Jonathan. So we'll see how that plays out.
Cool. Tell Jonathan if I don't get a chance to look in, I see the White Sox. Because remember, what did he say? Remember, and I'm gonna remember. He said they're not even gonna get. He said I give them 50 wins. They're not even gonna get 50 wins. What was their record?
They won over 60 this year. So
Exactly.
we could talk about them now. We can talk about them now. We can't talk about the Rockies anymore, though. We can't talk about the Rockies.
I deserve them. Yeah, they're done for right now. I deserve an apology because he really he went off on me and he said they're not even gonna win 50 games. Okay, and I didn't catch off. You know, I was on the road or something, but I will definitely White Sox again, man. We're gonna see the playoffs this season, man. Reverse the curse. Reverse the curse.
Hey, they might. The American League is going to be interesting this year. So I already know who my surprise team is going to be. You'll have to wait for that, though, to find that out. But that'll come on down the line. All right. Anything else, Jay, before we end off tonight?
Nothing, man. Other than, man, you're doing a great job, man. And you know how we always tell you, man. We appreciate you, and you know, we got some things coming, man. And I'm so grateful for you, Scott. Like I said, everybody. But you know, we're about to be seeing some things, man. We're about to see some things go on, and it's gonna be fun. Thanks to Wit, you know, appreciate his hard work and everything, man. And it's paying off. It's paying off. Everybody's hard work is paying off.
Absolutely, absolutely. Guys, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll be back next Sunday. Until then, love y'all. Stay safe. Have a great night and take care.